Hey guys, and welcome back into the channel for yet another Chicago Cubs review. Today they took on the Miami Marlins, Game 3 from Wrigley Field. Cubs looking for a sweep over a team that, quite frankly, they could potentially meet in the NLDS. Obviously, the Cubs played the Marlins earlier this year down in Miami and lost 3-4. A chance to sweep them here would be a big deal. And if I'm going to talk about this game, well, really, there's one thing to talk about, but I guess I'll get to that in a little bit. That's the ninth inning. All in all, this was a game where the starting pitchers dominated much of it. You know, into the seventh inning, the game still tied 1-1. Lackey really did pitch well. You know, he gave up some hits, but he had 0 walks. He was commanding the zone. He ended up having 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 8 Ks. Really pitched well. The 7th inning, he gave up a 2-run shot to Joe Mather. Surprising guy to hit one. It was only his second of the year. He's not, you know, a guy who you would think has got much extra base power. But he took him out, kept it low. You know, the wind was blowing in pretty hard, kept it low below the wind. And on this type of day, that's the type of way to hit a home run. But Lackey, I'm going to do a video on him tomorrow. There's no game tomorrow, so I won't have a review up, obviously. But I'm going to have a little video on John Lackey because I have a few things I would like to say about him. For this video, I won't get into that, though. I'll just say he pitched well. So tune in if you want to see that video tomorrow. So, like I said, he pitched well. Then he had Joe Smith make his debut. He goes two-thirds of an inning, 3 hits, 1 run. Not a good debut. I don't know what's up with these Chicago Cub new relievers' debuts. Montgomery sucked in his debut. Smith sucked today in his debut. Although with Smith, I have a little more confidence than Montgomery. Smith is a guy who's been around the block quite a few times, and he's always been pretty consistent. I like the quirkiness he brings to the mound with that major sidearm delivery. The slider really gets good action. It just, you know, he left a sinker up to Yelich, who smacked it out to right field. Again, a ball that was hit really low on a line and was able to get out. Edwards came in, got 1 strikeout. Guy's a beast. He strikes out nearly every hitter he faces. I want to see him get put in more high-leverage situations. And then Grimm came back from AAA. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He got the win, actually. But all in all, the Cubs are down 4-1 in the 8th inning, right? And Fernando Rodney, the ex-Cub, is in the game. He's having command issues early. They get a couple guys on. They get a run in, make it 4-2, and they have second and third, 1 out in a 4-2 game. Wilson Contreras comes up. And I've talked about in my last a couple videos that Contreras has, at least lately, had a tendency to be a little too passive, taking fastballs early in the count. And that's what he did here. Rodney threw him 2 fastballs. You know, I mean, they were good pitches, but they were hittable pitches, and he took both of them, gets down 0-2. Then Rodney extends the zone, throws a changeup on the ground, and Contreras swings. And this is something that I've noticed as well with Baez, but especially with Contreras. He's not being aggressive enough early in the count. He's taking hittable fastballs, getting behind, and the pitchers are going to breaking stuff and changeups, you know, down in the dirt, and they're having a tough time laying off. So I feel like Contreras does, in my opinion, need to be a little more aggressive early in the count. Look for that first pitch fastball and not take it every single time like he has been lately. Because I think pitchers are starting to catch on and they're just throwing a first pitch fastball over the plate, getting up 0-1 and then extending the zone from there. But that was a situation where they had a lot of issues last year, second and third, 1 out, not being able to put the ball in play. Hasn't been quite as big of an issue this year, but the last few weeks they have been leaving a ton of runners on base. Yeah, despite the fact they've been winning lately, it's still something that you would like to see rectified here pretty quick. And another situation there with Contreras Kang, and then Hayward grounds out to short, so they leave the runners on second and third. You go to the 9th inning down 4-2. Like I said, Grimm pitches a scoreless inning. Then you go to the bottom of the 9th down 4-2. You got AJ Ramos, who was, I think, 31 or 32 out of 33 in saves on the year. His ERA was in the mid-2s, but the guy converted every save but 1 this year. He was an all-star. And he comes in. He instantly gives up a first pitch double to Miguel Montero down the right field line. Great swing by Montero. Had some good swings today. Flew out to deep center field. With the wind blowing in, you know, still hit it 390 feet. On a normal day, that ball's, you know, up into the bushes. Had a good hit to left, but it was caught. You know, he was striking the ball well, and it was nice to finally see him get rewarded with a double here. Then Baez comes up, and for once, Baez lays off those sliders from Ramos low and away, because this was a tough matchup for him. A guy with a nasty slider that dips away. It's a pitch he struggles with. Takes the first 2, and there you go, Baez. Now you're up 2-0 in the count. You know, lately he had been on an 0-for-18 stretch. Had brought his average down. It was almost up to 300. Now it's down to the 270s, but this was a great at-bat. He took the 2 pitches, eventually got the count into his favor, 3-1, And what happens? He gets a fastball and he smokes it in the left field for a base hit. You know, if he can do that, he's a stud. He's just got to lay off those breaking balls and off-speed pitches out of the zone early in the count, because when he chases those pitches, then he's down 0-1, 0-2, and he never gets any fastball. You know, all he has to do is lay off those breaking pitches, and he will find himself in hitter counts where he'll get fastballs. And this guy gets a fastball, he hits it, he very rarely misses it, and this guy hits the ball harder than just about anyone in baseball. This guy literally crushes the ball. It was great at bat. So he had first and third, no one out. You know, Caesar come up, nice bat off the bench, still patient, great off the bench, takes the walk, so his bases loaded, no one out. Fowler, Jesus Christ, what's up with these fucking cars? Holy shit. But then you have Fowler come up, he hits a sac fly to right field, gets the run in, so it's now 4-3. The runners advance second and third. A slight bobble by Stanton allows that to happen. So you have second and third, one out, 4-3. KB comes up, gets himself in a 0-2 count, fights back, gets it to 3-2. And then a breaking ball that was, was close, but it was off the goddamn plate. And what's this guy? Marty something? I can't remember what his name is. But the goddamn ump makes a call that was wrong. I mean, it wasn't egregious. The pitch was, just slightly off the plate. But in that situation, you got to get the call right. The call was wrong. The pitch was off the plate. Bryant, one of the first times I can ever remember seeing him do this, turns around and starts, bickering a little bit with the umpire. Horrible call. The strike zone today was garbage from start to finish. Really inconsistent. Was it Marty Peters maybe was his name? I can't remember what his name was. If you know his name, comment down below. But it wasn't a good strike zone, and to be quite honest, I was pretty pissed when that pitch got called a strike, because I felt like, he just costed us the game. Let this pitcher that couldn't command, the strike zone off the hook. So you have second and third, 2 outs. They intentionally walk Rizzo, which right away I was like, thank you, because you could see he was struggling with his command. If it wasn't for a crappy call, he had another walk on KB. So I was like, okay, great. Now you got bases loaded, 2 outs, and the patient Ben Zobrist's coming up. And right away, 3 straight balls to Zobrist, a 3-0 count. He drops a slider in, which is surprising. With the bases loaded 3-0, he goes to a slider, gets it over for strike 1, then tries to come back with another one. It's low out of the zone. Ball 4, game tied. Contreras says coming up, he has a chance to redeem himself. Again, instantly takes a fastball over the plate for strike 1. Then Ramos follows that up with a slider way outside. Would have, went 6 feet behind Rizzo in that left-handed batter's box. Wild pitch. Cubs win on a walk-off wild pitch. First one since 2009 when Kerry Wood did it with the Indians. But just an absolute insane game. The Chicago Cubs, this is the second time in the last 3-4 games that they've had this kind of a comeback. At this team, then you got to love their never quit, never die attitude. And it should serve them well come October. Now, granted, Ramos was missing by quite a bit in that 9th inning, so, it's easy to not swing when the pitch is that far off. But these guys don't quit. They don't give away at bats. And the fact of the matter is they swept a playoff team in Miami. And this was a great fucking series. And now you got a day off tomorrow. You go out to Oakland for 3, and then you come back home again. So the Cubs now have a 9.5 game lead over St. Louis. They extended the record to 66-41, 25 games over 500. Again, a great comeback win over against a good team and a closer that had been close to unbeatable all season. So, since I've been doing these videos, the Cubs have had some pretty awesome wins, and it was another one here today. And I wish I could have put a video up when they won. Again, I ran around my driveway for 5 minutes with my shirt off. That's my dad. But it was sick. It was awesome. But I'll be back Friday night for the review of the Oakland game. Thanks for checking in, guys. I'm out.